Even so, today's Duniya Ek Dil episode delivered emotional humiliation, family tension, romance, and a dark psychological twist. As Baldev's going hatred towards Shivai slowly pushed him towards dangerous thoughts. The episode begins with Padma informing Baldev that the court is closed because of a holiday, which means his bail process will only happen tomorrow. She also tells him that Vivan was stubborn about meeting him, so she brought him along to the jail. Baldev becomes emotional seeing Vivan but immediately notices the injuries and bandages on his body. Shocked and worried, he asks what happened. Vivan sadly reveals that students at school mocked him because Aditya left her rich lifestyle and chose to live with grocery worker like Shivai. He says to the boys insulted both Shivai and Adya before physically attacking him. Padma further fuels Baldev's anger by saying that just one day in jail was enough for society to start humiliating their family openly. Furious and humiliated, Baldev tells Padma to take Vivan home safely, while his anger silently grows stronger. Meanwhile, fresh troubles begins for Adya inside Shivai's house. Sonam rudely wakes Adya up early in the morning and orders her to wash dirty utensils. Adya honestly admits that she has never done such work before and politely asks Sonam to teach her properly. Pretending to help, Sonam secretly mixes broken glass pieces with the utensils and planning to hurt Adya intentionally. While cleaning, Adya badly injures her hand on the hidden glass. At the right moment, Pratima arrives and instantly understands Sonam's cruel plan after seeing Adya's injury. Sonam quickly lies and claims that Adya wanted to help voluntarily, but Pratima refuses to believe her excuses. She immediately bandages Adya's wound herself and strongly warns Sonam and Suraj not to cross their limit. Sonam silently burns in anger and decides to make Adya's life even more miserable inside the house. Later, Baldev returns home after receiving temporary relief. Vivan emotionally hugs him and says nobody supported them during his absence. Baldev promises that he will punish every person responsible for Vivan's humiliation and injuries. Vivan then emotionally provokes Baldev further by saying that Adya abandoned her own family to live with Shivai in Kannauj. In anger, Vivan even declares that Shivai deserves death for ruining their family's respect and reputation. Elsewhere, Pallavi calls Adya and informs her that Baldev has finally received bail. Adya immediately becomes emotional and asks her mother to tell Baldev that she still loves him deeply even if he refuses to speak to her now. Back at home, Baldev performs Shiv Puja, but internally his mind remains filled with anger and humiliation connected to Shivai. Padma's poisonous words continue affecting him emotionally, slowly pushing him deeper into darkness. Meanwhile, the mood softens briefly as romantic moments bloom between Shiva and Adya. Shiva returns home looking for his mother when Adya suddenly surprises him with a sweet kiss on his cheek. Shiva painfully pulls her closer, making Adya nervous and shy. For a moment, both forget all the tension surrounding them. But just as their romantic moment intensifies, Pratima calls out for Shivai, forcing both of them to quickly act normal again. The sweet atmosphere suddenly takes a terrifying turn in the final moments. Baldev arrives outside Shivai's house, carrying immense rage inside him. Overwhelmed by hatred and humiliation, he imagines a horrifying scene where he brutally stabs Shivai. In his imagination, Adya stands horrified and asks her father how he became such a cruel man. Completely shattered, she says society was right about him being dangerous before emotionally stabbing herself in pain and disappointment. The shocking sequence suddenly breaks, and viewers realize it was only Baldev's imagination. Baldev snaps back to reality, completely shaken by his own violent thoughts. But the terrifying vision clearly reveals how dangerously unstable his emotions are becoming. The episode ends on a dark and emotional note as Baldev's hatred slowly begins consuming him from within. And the precap promises even more emotional torture ahead as Adya continues facing humiliation inside Shivai's house because of Sonam and Suraj growing hatred towards her. Thank you for watching. Bye.